welcome back to another episode of Over the Glass. I am your host, Jay.
I am other host, Ness.
And today I want to just start out with announcing the GLAAD Awards were recently conducted.
Award for Outstanding New TV Series goes to He Did Rivalry.
Thank you so much. We're so grateful. I won't be long. I know it's been a long night. Thank you so much to GLAAD. This is an incredible honor. We're at a table with our friends at Crave, our home network in Canada, who greenlit this show, developed this show. Thank you so much to them. Thank you so much to our found family at HBO. We hope you continue to exist. That would be amazing. I would like to also to be in the company of these shows is so extraordinary, but particularly to be in the company of two shows that were executive produced by Norman Lear, a man I had the privilege of getting to know a little bit before he passed. We talk about allies and we talk about legacy. Norman Lear was an amazing man, and he would have been so proud of both of those shows. They're so good. Congratulations Congratulations to all the nominees. Making queer art is hard. It's hard to get it made. It's hard to get it seen. I think a lot of us in this room know that. And we owe so much to the shows that come before us, as problematic as some of them may be, and as those shows lay the groundwork for where we are. And I just want to give a particular shout out to a few of them, to Queer as Folk, to The L Word, to Dante's Cove, and to Transparent, and Will and Grace. Those shows allowed for the rest of us to kind of live in a world here, and I'm so grateful to them. We're so grateful to be here. Thank you so much for your support. It means the world. Thank you.
Shout out to Will and Grace.
I mean, Jacob Tierney pretty much said it all. I mean, kudos to him for, shouting out those particular TV shows, a number of them that were definitely around when I was trying to come into myself. And, I've talked a little bit about, in particular to like the L Word, and, even though it helped me find myself in a number of ways, it also made me feel alienated in a number of ways. But we need to start somewhere and then improve on where we started, and to arrive at something so amazing as He Did Rivalry has brought into our lives. But definitely when I've gone back and I've watched those shows, I go, But there was a certain time in my life where it was just like, those were the only things available, unless you were really digging deep and on the internet, trying to find those stories that, as he said, it's very difficult even now to make queer stories. But the fact that they have gotten, unconditional support from Crave. But I just thought it was really wonderful, and also really great that like Amber Glenn got to present that award. If you were watching any of the socials for like the GLAAD Media Awards, she's a huge He Did Rivalry fan. She was saying like, yes, please make, a lesbian version of it. Cast me in it. I want to fall in love with my co-star.
Yeah. It's nice to see that He Did Rivalry is still being talked about in positive ways outside of a lot of the toxicity we're seeing online with the fan base and stuff. But I think I also wanted to bring up, since we're on the topic, that Tara Sloan was able to talk about He Did Rivalry on the podcast she does for the Sharks called The Undercurrent. She invited the president of the San Francisco Earthquakes, Kieran Flaherty, and then, oh my gosh, how do you pronounce her name? Eula Idemoto, who's the board president of the NCWHL, and an LGBTQ plus advocate and educator Brock McGillis, who we've talked about on the podcast many times, and we have featured him before. So she had 3 different guests on this podcast. Was able to talk about heated rivalry a little bit and the impact it's had on the sport within specifically like this, like the sports where queer folks feel comfortable joining, with the SF Quakes and then the NCWHL. As well as, she said she mentions talking about the USA Hockey's transgender ban, the ban that that's currently happening. So really good discussions. If you want to head over there and listen to that podcast after this episode, go ahead and listen to that.
Great. Awesome. The NHL had their trade deadline. If you're not used to it, it's a big old frenzy up until the wire. And even after it's all said and done, there's still some that will trickle in that have just not been announced yet. I think the day before, I don't know if I recall a time when they were announcing trades at like 9 p.m. Pacific, but I was like, dude, like, some of us need to wind down for the night and go to bed. Stop announcing trades. I don't even remember what trade it was, but I was just scrolling idly, and I was like, I did a double take, and I looked at the time, and I realized, no, this is a brand new trade. It's not just one that I missed. Like, what are you guys doing? But yeah, I don't know if I could call it necessarily a crazy trade. I think we've had in the past couple years, like the Timo trade really shook our podcast because we did a whole recording of it because we record on the weekend, and then it dropped. I think the trade happened later that day, and we were just like, well, does it even matter? I know, it's like, should we just scrap the entire podcast episode? With the Olympic break and that kind of shifting things a little bit, it feels like the biggest trade was kind of like Artemi Panarin, and maybe the second biggest trade, maybe Kadri getting moved, but it's stuff that I kind of already expected, and then maybe a shocker that'll probably just end up. They'll figure stuff out in the off season, but probably like Vincent Trocheck. I was surprised that he didn't get moved at all, because they were like, sell it all, get rid of it. Maybe surprising, only because I don't follow the Caps anymore, is they moved on from John Carlson, but maybe that was kind of on the writing on the wall. You know, they're kind of going through a thing right now, and he ends up going to the Ducks, but yeah, nothing too crazy for me.
I wasn't really excited for it or like nervous about it anyway. This was the calmest trade deadline I've experienced in probably ever since I started following the Sharks. I think their big acquisition was Kiefer, and everyone was that week was like, they have to move him. He hasn't been doing anything for this team, and they were really complaining a lot about him. Until like,
you mean the fan base was complaining?
Yes, the fan base was complaining.
I just want to clarify who's doing the complaint, because I was fine.
Right? No, you love the man.
Bro just needs to cook. He just needs to find a spot. I mean, I will say there was like some people talking about how get him off the first line, and I'm not saying he doesn't belong on the first line. But I am saying that is not where I would have pictured him to be. And so my thinking for that was, there's one part of it where they're trying to figure out the terms of a possible contract, the fact that the trade deadline's coming up. You're hopeful that he's going to sign, but there is that possibility that he doesn't. And maybe right now, if that ends up being the case where they don't come to an agreement, or maybe for some reason management is watching him play and are thinking, actually, after all that time we were watching you, we actually don't want you on the team anymore. Not so much that case, more so maybe they can't come to an agreement on like term and like, money and whatever. Mm-hmm. And then you see the thing like from last season with, what's his bucket? from Colorado who went to the Hurricanes, then went to the Stars.
Oh,
Who turned into a villain. Yeah, who turned into a villain after that. Yeah, you see something like that, where he was there only for a month, and he was traded there just because they were like, well, we need to move you because we have stuff to do. And the moment he gets there, it sounded like more or less, for him, it was absolutely not.
Right.
I am leaving you on red. I am blocking you on my cell phone. Like, there's no way we're having a conversation. Get me out of here. So they're like, will do. Flip you. So there's that possibility, but it didn't ever feel to me like that was the case from what we were getting, even though Mike Greer is very like, I'm not telling you anything.
I think the things that were kind of annoying me a little bit was the fact that he didn't have much time to play between when we acquired him. You know, he was injured, so he missed out on like a handful of games. I don't remember how many. Then they put him in the lineup like the 1 or 2 games before the Olympic break. Then we had 2 weeks off, and then we come back and he didn't. I think there was one. Was it only the one game before the trade deadline that he played?
It feels like it.
It was like 1 or 2, but it was literally the game before, because the Sharks' schedule was they played on Tuesday and then they didn't play again until Friday. So they only had that one game. And everyone was like, I don't understand why he's even on this team anymore. They should just trade him at the deadline. Like, there's not even going to be another opportunity for him to show off his skills or whatever. He's not fitting into the lineup. But then that game, he ended up going off. And people were like, all right, I guess. So the Sharks signed him before the trade deadline, right? Because they ended up giving him his contract then. And people were like, I don't like this number. He hasn't done anything. It's like, you guys haven't even given him a chance. He's barely been here. Let him breathe. So I think something I'm seeing right now online, specifically Twitter, is like fans are very quick to come to conclusions before they decide to feel a certain way about certain players and things. So that's
breaking news. Fans overreact.
You know, right? We're in that part. Like, it's been so interesting watching it jump to this, because at the beginning of the season, people were still laid back, like, we're not expecting too much from this team. You know, really excited about the new players, but no one was expecting us to be in the playoff position at this point of the season. Now that we are, not that they've seen their compy and whatever, everyone is up in arms when something happens with the team. Doesn't matter if it's positive or negative.
Yeah, so in addition to what I was talking about, you know, they're juggling the possibility that, you know, maybe they don't come to an agreement, and you know they're coming down to the wire, where it would be best to trade him before the trade deadline, because otherwise he's on an expiring contract. And I also felt like he was on the first line just to see, okay, we're going to put you in these scenarios, not necessarily saying that this is where ideally we see you, but could you be in this role? Just show us if you could be in this role. And I thought he did fine when he was up in the first line. I mean, can he play there in you know, next season? Maybe. I mean, as we see with these guys that come in who maybe did a lot of great things with their previous club, and then they get here, and then we have these delusional high expectations of like, well, show me what you got. You know, well, hurry up and get those 30 goals that you got with your other team. And then if they don't, it's like, whoa, we overpaid
Waste
for
of time.
you. Yeah, waste of money. Fire Mike Greer. But I mean, I thought he was fine. Could he possibly, you know, fit in that first line role with the Sharks? I don't know. We'll see next season. You know, things always change. But ideally, when we acquired him, I saw him in like a third line role, like a good, like 2B line. And then wherever you need him to go, the Swiss Army knife, you can put him anywhere. Is he going to be leading the charge? Is he going to be the one like scoring the goals? Not necessarily, but he is going to be in there on the play. He is going to give you the chance. I'm sure you guys are already seen already. I mean, he's knocking into people. He has a very physical side to his game, which is also really helpful to not just have someone. As much as Ryan Reeves has been helpful in his role in the fourth line, it's always beneficial to then have someone who can actually get the puck in the net to generate the plays and everything, So those are the type of guys that we need. So I'm really glad to see that. And especially for, Sherwood, I believe he and his wife have another, actually, I think it's their first kid. Whatever. They have a kid on the way, so I think it's great, not only for the team, but also for the personal side of the player to know that for the time being, you're gonna be able to stick around for like 5 years and have that peace of mind. And then especially with this club who is right now in a playoff position. So you get that opportunity to be with an exciting club that is going to be, is really starting to get into their competitive mode. Mm-hmm. So other stuff that came out from the trade week, Edmonton is making moves because they have to, or else McDavid's gonna be out of there in a couple of years. So the trade that we made with them last season to move Jake Wallman for a number of assets, there was a condition on one of the draft picks that it would be a top 12 protected unless they moved their 2027 first round pick, which they ended up doing in their trade to acquire Jason Dickinson. So that now means that the Sharks own the Edmonton's 2026 first round pick unprotected as part of the trade condition. So whether or not Edmonton's going to end up, falling into a top 12 position, it doesn't seem like it's going to happen. But hey, we got time. They're not doing so great.
I think it's fascinating that Mike Greer probably saw this coming, which is why he ended up making this.
Mike Greer's playing 4D chess.
he's a psychic. He can see the future. Because some of these conditions are out. Like, who thinks of these things? Top 12 protected unless you move your specifically 2027 first round pick. And then they did. And then now it's not protected.
I mean, if you look at the standings and if you just take a look at the scores over the last couple of weeks, I mean, even like Vegas is not doing so hot right now. Like, yeah, the Pacific is not exactly the best division in the NHL right now. I mean, and that's great for us.
Right.
But I mean, the standings, the Sharks still have 2 to 3 games in hand over everybody who's in front of them, and we're just mere points away right now. At the time of this recording on Sunday, before the Sharks have their second of back-to-back, the Sharks have 70 points, and next up is the Mammoth with 3 games in hand, and they just have 4 points over us. Edmonton has 3 points ahead of us. The Ducks have 2 games in hand over us and have 5 points, and Vegas has 6 points over us, but 3 games in hand. So, I mean, after the Olympics, Sharks were a little bumpy along the ride, getting back on the horse, but I think they're starting to right that ship a little bit, and we've been looking pretty decent. Now, is it going to be decent enough to secure this playoff spot and to go on a long run? I'm not here to say anything about that. I am just here for a good time, and the Sharks are a good time right now. And even if we miss the playoffs, there are a lot of great things to look forward to next season. So I am here for whatever just please don't leave our goaltenders out to dry. That is all that I ask right now.
Yeah, I was looking at, well, first of all, excited they're in a playoff position because, again, no one really expected this. It's nice that they're progressing a lot faster than anyone anticipated. But someone put out a mock bracket of what the matchups would look like if the playoffs had started that day or like today or whatever. And the Sharks are the Sharks would be up against the Colorado Avalanche in the first round, and I'm not sure that's gonna be good for the for the team because playoff experience, yes, it'd be good for them to see that environment, how the best out of 7 games go, whatever. You get a lot of experience out of that, but to be completely tossed around by a freaking a giant like the Colorado Avalanche, I'm not sure would be good for their development, to be honest with you.
I mean, we still have about a month to go and a little under 20 games. So Vegas and the Oilers are probably the one out of the teams that I mentioned are probably the ones with the bit of the fire under their asses to stay in the hunt. I'm sure the Ducks organization is just like, these are great vibes. Like, this is amazing. The Mammoth, with them recently, Utah acquiring this team from Arizona, I'm sure this is great for their fan base. We are going to continue talking about a little bit more about the Sharks, but I do want to just bring up the fact that the Buffalo Sabres are at the top of the Atlantic. Like, who saw this coming? And while that's insane, they're ahead of like the Bolts. I mean, granted, the Bolts have a couple of games in hand, but I mean, I didn't get to watch the game where the Sabres, where the Sharks took on the Sabres. It didn't look great on paper. So, but I mean, the Sabres have just been the joke of the league for many, many years. This must just be super amazing for this fan base.
Right, because the Islanders are also doing pretty well this season. So usually there's only one New York team that's up there in the standings and in like playoff talks, and now the other two are in there, and the other one is way, way at the bottom. It's interesting.
This whole season has just been insane. The fact that the Rangers are at the bottom of the Eastern Conference, right above them are the Toronto Maple Leafs, which I'm sure they're going to end up tanking even more, maybe not on purpose, but Austin Matthews is out for the season after he got kneed by Radko Gudas, who now has a 5-game suspension. Like, I didn't watch that game, but I saw that clip, and there is no arguing that. That is blatantly kneeing the guy, and that's pretty awful. He got I think it was a grade 3 MCL tear or something like that, something nasty. Yeah, so it's weird to see the standings. I mean, I think the Western Conference looks as how I expected it to look, but the Eastern Conference is very, very interesting given those teams that and right above the Leafs with the same amount of points as the New Jersey Devils, and right above them are the Panthers. Like, that's crazy.
Right. Flipped on its head. I was just going to mention that because you had mentioned that the Capitals also kind of struggling this season. They got rid of John Carlson. I guess I don't really understand this acquisition for them, but the Sharks ended up trading Timmy Liljegren over to them, and like it makes sense for us because we have a backlog of a lot of defensemen on our side, but I don't know what the Caps are doing over there.
Maybe we need to invite a Caps fan on and ask these very important questions. But yeah, Timothy Liljegren was traded prior to the trade deadline for a 2026 4th-round pick, which was originally Vegas's pick. So this reads to me as, hey, we have people to move. Oh, you need a defenseman? Here you go. Just a very gentlemanly trade. No, this was not highly contested vibes. This was very much like, you have something we need. Okay, you need to give me something for it. This looks great, a 4th round pick. So thank you for your services, Liljegren. We wish you the best of luck of filling in for John Carlson. In other news for the Sharks, they did give Ty Dellandrea a 2-year contract, which I'm happy about. Ty is currently injured, but I mean, he was really showing what he can bring to the team earlier in this season, and so, 2-year contract sounds good.
Yeah, a lot of people aren't really understanding it because he hasn't played in a minute. But the San Jose Sharks PR account posted that at the time he suffered an injury that has held him out of the lineup on January 6th, Dellandrea led Sharks forwards in... Okay, what does FOW percentage stand for?
Forward offense something.
Okay, well, it says that it's like time on ice was about... Actually, I'm not really sure what these numbers mean, but there's a...
Face-off wins. He led in face-off wins. I was way off.
Right. 52.3%, I guess.
Which is very important to acquire possession of the puck. Right. If you're spending so much time chasing down the other team who keeps winning at the face-off dot, it's like we talked about when we made the trade for Ostapchuk and we sent names. They escape me. Fabian Zetterlund. Oh. People were like, "Why did we do that?" And I presented the case of the fact that we need different types of centers, different types of forwards. You can't all have Macklin Celebrinis. In an ideal world, you'd love a Macklin Celebrini because he can do everything. But we're really trying to balance out this team with folks who have a particular role. Mm-hmm. And this is one of them.
Particular skill set. Yeah. So about just over 52% face-off wins percentage with a minimum of 200 face-offs. And he ranks second among the group in hits with 117. He had 36 block shots and what is SH? Something time on ice was about 115 minutes over 42 games. So, I mean, he has his role.
Mm-hmm. Well, SH, I don't know in this context, but it means shorthanded.
No, right, but I don't think that's what it means in this context.
Yeah.
Anyways, he's good for the team. Stop complaining. You can complain. You can complain if he comes back and he doesn't do anything, But right now he's injured. Let him get well. Come back.
When he comes back, take a look at the face-off wins. If he's not winning the face-offs, then you can get upset.
Yeah.
And another signing or extension contract is for Alex Nedeljkovic, who got a 2-year. And I'm really happy for Alex because he is doing some great work, not only keeping the Sharks in the game, but also being a great mentor to Askarov.
Yeah, I've been really happy with him on the team. He seems to have settled in quite nicely, and he is... okay, from my perspective, he seems to be doing a little bit better than Askarov in the net. He's a lot calmer, and when the team in front of him starts to panic, he's usually in there like, "It's fine, I got this," even if he doesn't.
And those are the vibes he will rub off on Askarov. That's why we've signed him for more years. Like, please bestow this skill onto Askarov. I mean, he has been improving. I haven't screamed as much when he leaves the net to go help. Like, that's bro, true. Please stop. Like, I get it, but also stop. Like, he hasn't been doing it quite as much. And then, it's just the growing pains of a goaltender. You're growing with the team and you're learning to where you do that thing and when you don't. And I think I'm confident that Alex will show him the way. Show him the way of the Force. And then we had a move for more on the AHL level. Jack Thompson was acquired by the Canucks in exchange for us getting Jet Wu, which the moment I saw this, I got excited, and only because I know just the baseline of Jet Wu. I know he exists. He's half Chinese and half German. And I just think he has a sick name.
Yeah.
And on the hockey side of things, all I could really gather was, like, I was trying to understand, okay, why move Jack Thompson for this guy? Like, what's the reasoning behind it? And it sounds like Jet's defensive play is more defensive-minded than offensive. And I think if you're looking at the defensemen who are coming up the pipeline, I think this is a nice balance. Mm-hmm. So it isn't necessarily a ground-shaking trade, but it is one of those, like, subtle ones. But I just got more excited about, like, oh, I know this guy, and he has a badass name.
Yeah, I don't think I know anything about him. It's like another defenseman. It's nice that we have another defensive defenseman, because I think, like you mentioned, the Sharks, all the prospects in our pipeline are very offensive-minded. And while it's fun, it's fun to watch them, and we're looking for a we're looking for a player to replace Klingberg on the power play, to be like the quarterback of the power play and stuff. We also need guys to stop the pucks from getting into the net or getting to the goalie before they hit the back of the net. So I'm really missing the Vlasic and Braun combo. Like, we need that again,
We'll get back there one day. Yesterday, the Sharks had a watch party over at Splash, which is a gay nightclub in San Jose. And Sharkie decided he was going to attend and, hang out with everybody, which I think is really great. I don't know if the Sharks have ever done this before. Do you know if they've ever done that?
I haven't seen anything like this before, but this is fun.
Yes. So I think they were having, like maybe a drag performance or something, and Sharkie was getting down. He was doing the splits, having a good time. And initially I was like, dang, if I had known about this earlier, I would have gone. But yesterday was also the home opener for Bay FC, so there was going to be no way I was going to be able to do that. But they should do this again, because I will go.
Right. I will make my way
really
out there.
Fun. Mm-hmm.
Let me watch Sharkie and drag next time,
Yeah. I mean, something we'll talk about a little later. He could look like he did a little bit of drag.
It's true. Shout out to @TriniBot on Twitter or whatever for this video.
All right. Anything else you want to talk about related to the Sharks?
Just that I don't know if you caught the news about Chernyshov. That's his name, right? Why did I just blank? Like my mind completely blanked.
I
Okay.
I thought you needed to be rebooted.
I did, actually. Anyways, he, like, less than 30 seconds into the game yesterday got hit. I'm not.
I saw that clip, and it was very scary.
Scary. It looked bad. It looked like Matheson elbowed him in the head. I'm not sure if that initial blow is what knocked him out, but Matheson's skate also got caught, or sorry, his stick got caught in Chernyshov's skate, and so that took his feet out from under him. He wasn't able to brace himself for the impact and ended up hitting his head on the ice. He was bleeding from the head, and got looks like a pretty bad concussion because he couldn't get up afterwards. He was helped off the ice, and it was very reminiscent to what had happened to Pavelski during Game 7 of the playoffs in 2019. Where, you know, it was like an awkward fall. He couldn't brace himself, hit his head, and, you know, that whole thing happened. But thankfully, you know, he did go to the hospital. He got checked out, and by the end of the game, he was back in the locker room with the boys. He seems to be doing okay. He's probably going to be out for a bit because, again, looks like a really bad concussion. So hopefully he heals up nicely. But that was scary.
I didn't get to watch the first 2 periods of that game, but it looked like there was no penalty called on that play either.
Yeah, that was frustrating.
Get it together, Department of Player Safety. I mean, you not only gave Evgeny Malkin a 5-game suspension, which I believe he definitely deserved after hacking at someone's neck. Like, how is this okay? And then Radko Gudas also gets a 5-game suspension, which, just my luck, I have both those guys on my team.
Nice.
So Malkin has 1 more game to go, and in the meantime, like, Gudas is just hanging out on my team, not doing anything. But yeah, hopefully he's doing okay, because that looked pretty scary. Mm-hmm. All right, one last thing for the Sharks. Next Saturday, they are going to be having their Barbie game day. So this is on March 21st. The Sharks team up with Barbie to turn the tank pink and celebrate girls hockey. Fans won't want to miss the fun night packed with an all-arena giveaway, new merch, interactive Barbie-themed photo ops, and an in-arena scavenger hunt. The evening will also feature the Sharks Foundation's 4th installment of this season's Mystery Puck series, as well as in-game recognition of the Reading is Cool program's top reader and PG&E's Teacher of the Month. So for the giveaway, they have 3 different crossbody bag options. Right here is the light blue one. So Ness has the light pink one, and then there will also be a hot pink one, which is co-branded. So it has Barbie, and then it has Game Day at the bottom, and then a Sharks logo off to the side.
She's so cute.
It's got those like reinforced teeth for the zipper, which I really like. Like,
yeah, it's a pretty good quality.
They're not playing around with that. And then on the back, I like that there's also a little pocket on the back as well.
Yeah.
So
it also says that if you want a different color, fans can head over to their trading table at the South Bar before the start of the second period to trade for a different color. That's a really nice option because, you know, like if you're handed something at the gate and you're like, I don't want pink, I want the blue one. Or vice versa.
I want the hot pink one.
Right. Literally, I got this in the mail, opened it up, and my girlfriend was like, man, I wish it was a hot pink one. And so I ended up messaging you because she was like, what color did Jay get? Maybe you can trade with them. But you got blue, so...
Maybe I can ask my friend who's going to that game, have him find a hot pink one for you.
Nice.
So then they're also going to have a scavenger hunt. As mentioned, fans will find 4 hidden Barbies around the concourse, can head to the South Bar to claim a pink Sharks branded sleep mask.
That's so cute. That's so fun. Oh, I love that. I would go just to do the scavenger hunt.
And so we are going to be doing a giveaway for,
Yeah.
well, at least I'm giving away my light blue one. I don't know about you, Ness, but this light blue one is going to be available. We're going to do the giveaway later in the week, so prior to game day. So it's going to go up until game day. I haven't decided yet which day I'm going to drop the giveaway, but you should already be following our socials because that is where you will see the giveaway. So
It's
you can
true.
follow us on Twitter, on Instagram, on Blue Sky. We're going to be dropping the announcement on every single one of those platforms. It is going to be a single giveaway, but they are all going to be announced on there, and you'll have all the details of how you can get in on the giveaway, and then we will announce it on the day of the Barbie game day. So you heard it here first. If you're not already following us on our socials, that is where you will see this announcement, and you have to be following. That's step one. You got to follow us on at least one of those platforms. That is going to be step one to participate in the giveaway. So no excuses. You heard it here. All right. And now we are going to do our ad read. As you all know, we are sponsored by DraftKings. DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NHL, is built for the fastest game on ice with player props and live betting. Every shift, every shot, every save gives you options to get in on the game with DraftKings Sportsbook. So, on Monday, the money line. The Boston Bruins take on the New Jersey Devils. The Bruins are a plus 100 to the negative 120 for the Devils. The LA Kings take on the Rangers. The Kings are a negative 125 to the plus 105 Rangers. The Flames go against the Red Wings. Flames a plus 150 to negative 180 Red Wings. The Mammoth take on the Stars, plus 136 for the Mammoth to the negative 162 Stars. And finally, the Penguins take on the Avalanche. The Penguins are plus 190 to the negative 230 Avalanche. New customers bet just $5, and if your bet wins, you'll get $300 in bonus bets instantly. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app and use code XXX. That's code XXX to turn $5 into $300 in bonus bets if your bet wins. In partnership with DraftKings, the crown is yours. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. New York, call 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY. Connecticut, call 888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org. On behalf of Boot Hill Casino in Kansas, wager tax pass-through may apply in Illinois. 21 plus in most states, void in Ontario. Restrictions apply. Bet must win to receive bonus bets, which expire in 7 days. Minimum odds required. For additional terms and responsible gaming resources, see dkng.co/audio. Limited time offer. Copyright 2026. NHL. All rights reserved. All right. Now we're moving on to women's stuff.
Woohoo!
Speaking of Barbie Day. So the Seattle Torrent had a game recently where they had their first ever bra toss. So I'm going to share some footage from that game. Seattle Torrent and Bras for Girls hosted their first ever bra toss to collect sports bras and highlight whatever it said before it switched the screen on me. Highlight the reality that many girls are forced to walk away from sports because they lack the gear they need. I think this is really awesome. I don't know if this is ever done before in any other sport, but I really, really love this because it reminded me of something else related to if you have a uterus, girls in like Africa, they're forced to basically skip school altogether because they don't have sanitary pads. So the week that they're going through their cycle, they have no other option but to stay home and be able to go about your day and day without bleeding all over the place is also something that it impacts girls and people with uteruses, like, specifically. Yeah, I've never really considered that, sports bra would be something that would prevent someone from being able to participate. But when you kind of think about it, it's like, yeah, like, especially folks who are bigger chested. I don't necessarily know what that's like, but I have heard stories, and even folks who have much, much bigger chests, like, they even need higher quality sports bras, just to be able to do something basic, as even if you're just doing like a jog, like something that, you don't really stop to think about until games like this, where they raise awareness. Organizations like Bras for Girls, I went to look up on their website about their story, the history behind their program. It was founded in 2017 through a confluence of ideas, needs, and product circumstances. In 2016, the Portsmouth University Bra Lab in the UK published a comprehensive schoolgirl survey that reported 46% of girls reported their breasts affected their sports and exercise participation. More than 50% of girls did not wear a sports bra with exercise. 87% of girls wanted to know more about breast development. 44% wanted to know more about bras and breasts in sports. Quote, I can't find the right sports bra. I am embarrassed by excessive breast movement, end quote, were identified barriers. 73% of girls reported at least one breast-specific concern in relation to sports and exercise. Says, why bras for girls? Nationally, only 20% of girls engaged in at least 60% of daily physical activity, a lower rate than boys. Girls' participation drops off significantly from age 10 to 17. Identified barriers include lack of financial means, lack of role models, and concerns about body changes, including breast development and the need for a sports bra. The simple intervention of a sports bra, along with the normalization of body development, can change the trajectory of a girl's relationship with body movement for her whole life. So Bras for Girls donates new high quality sports bras and breast development education booklets to girls in need age 8 to 18. Recipient programs include sports teams, school programs, community programs, and other initiatives that elevate girls' access to sports. Very awesome. Love all that.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. I did end up watching this game, and I was listening to the announcers talk about it, give a little bit more information, and one of them, what is her name? Shayna?
Yeah.
She one of the broadcasters, she was like, I have my bra right here. I'm going to go ahead and toss it. And she tosses it, and it barely gets anywhere. But they made it fun, It's a nice concept to do the bra toss, as it's like very similar to the teddy bear toss, where during Christmas there is certain teams, the AHL or I think it's only in the AHL, where they do the teddy bear toss. They donate all of those teddy bears to like kids in need and whatever. So it's same concept, but it is nice that it's specifically for girls and people growing up who develop breasts and like don't have the funds or the access to be able to get the right equipment they need. So it's very thoughtful.
Okay, in more women's sports, specifically the PWHL, the PWHL's March 28th takeover tour between the New York Sirens and the Montreal Victoire will be on national television in the United States for the first time. The league announced on Thursday. Woohoo! Woo! Milestones. Love it.
Yeah.
I was watching the Montreal Victoire go against the Boston Fleet just a little bit ago. It did end like 20 minutes ago. It did not go the way that I thought it was going to go, because the Victoire, and I gotta show off my shirt.
It's really good
my
shirt.
new Victoire shirt. On the back, it says Montreal. I don't know if you can see it.
Yeah.
Yeah, they were up 3-0 going into the third, and then when I looked over while we were recording, it went up 3-1, and then it was 3-2, and then eventually it was 3-3, and I was like, what? And then they went into overtime, and then I looked over, and the Fleet were celebrating.
No, dude, the Fleet keep doing that. I think the same thing happened when they played the Torrent. I think that game, the bra toss, where they were winning. I'm pretty sure the Torrent tied it up. It was like 2-2 or 3-2, and then the Fleet ended up winning anyway. Like, they keep winning in overtime. It's kind of annoying, but they're at the top of the standings for a reason.
It's my fault, guys. It's my superstition of thinking, oh man, if the Victoire win today, they'll be at the top of the standings. My bad. I had the thought. It was in that moment that the hockey gods were like, sucks to be you. And it does. It does. So that sucks. And on top of that, the Boston Fleet have also sold out their first game at TD Garden, which will be on April 11th. The capacity for that building is 17,850. The Fleet General Manager, Danielle Marmer, said, selling out TD Garden is a powerful moment for our team and for women's hockey, and it says everything you need to know about the passion this city has for the Fleet. I mean, Boston... It's one of the hubs for the U.S. in terms of producing hockey elites. So not surprised that the Fleet sell out their game. And this is all in the aftermath of the Olympics, the excitement from the women, not only the U.S. women winning gold, but just the high elite skill set that was showcased in the Olympics. And hey, you want to go check out some more? Now you can go follow the PWHL. And I think that's what we're seeing here. We're seeing that everybody is watching women's hockey.
Love to see it.
And then additionally, the New York Sirens and the Seattle Torrent have sold out their game for April 4th at Madison Square Garden. This is expected to set a U.S. attendance record for professional women's hockey game. The capacity at MSG is 18,006. So odd. And 6. Like, random number. But hey, super cool. And then the PWHL have their own version of a quiz to find out who you should root for. So I thought we would do this. We had done one that was similar from 365 Hockey Girl, but hey, the PWHL have an official one. Mm-hmm. So I don't know if we're going to do it as a podcast, if we're going to come to an agreement. I think we should. I think we should. And then maybe in our own time, we could do it for individuals. So this question already... I hate this first question because I can never answer this question. The first one is, what music do you like?
Not country.
I don't know what sea shanties is, but I'm not saying
it's hilarious.
So we've already rolled out country. I'm just going to say no to sea shanties because I just don't have enough background in it. And I can't say that I don't like it, but at this time, I can't say that I do. So now we're down to hip hop, EDM, rock and roll, indie, top 40 pop hits, and folk. So, I mean, I like all of these. My initial thought was, if you held me at gunpoint and told me to pick something, I would probably pick hip hop.
You think? Wow. I didn't take you for a hip hop listener. I am torn between indie and top 40 pop hits, but I do love me some hip hop sometimes. It's just not like one of those genres that I I like put on just because I want to listen to. It's like I'll listen to it, but it's not like my go-to.
Okay, because you said indie, which would have been another one of my top ones, we'll go with indie.
Okay.
All right, go-to footwear. We have lifestyle sneakers,
Stilettos.
snow boots, Chelsea boots, running shoes, hiking boots, rain boots, and combat boots. I'm going with lifestyle sneakers.
Yeah, probably.
Okay, favorite food, we have fish and chips, shawarma, tater tot casserole, yogurt and granola, everything bagel and cream cheese, smoked salmon, poutine, and a breakfast sandwich.
These are so funny because you can tell that there's for specific teams, right? The breakfast sandwich has to be the New York Sirens. I would do, I think, shawarma.
Yeah, I'm going to go with shawarma. Okay, what's your dream vacation? Cafe hopping and trying different pastries, cozy lake trip and boat rides, cabin vibes and sunsets over the water, explore museum and historical landmarks, breezy coastal getaway with sailing and fresh seafood by the water, ultimate foodie experience, trying incredible dishes from every cuisine imaginable, dancing all night and not getting home until sunrise, digging through vintage shops and catching live music, or camping trips with lots of hiking trails with beautiful mountain views. Like, Jesus, like, these are too involved.
This is hard. I like the cozy lake trip just because it's giving heated rivalry. But for me specifically, I think I would do either the cafe hopping or the ultimate foodie experience. Ugh, love to eat on a vacation.
Out of those, I think I would lean towards, I mean, okay, let's be honest, I would be doing all of this stuff, but it would all depend on my mood.
Right.
And I just don't think I could get very far with the ultimate foodie experience because you'll have to roll me out and then I will hibernate for the rest of the day. And I don't think that's wise if I'm trying to have a vacation where I'm doing a multitude of these things. So I'm going to go with the cafe hopping and trying different pastries.
Okay. Would you do any other one of these?
But I would be doing all of this.
Yeah, but is there one other one?
I would be pivoting hard right from the two that you said, and I would have said camping trip.
Really? Okay.
Yeah.
Camping's not really my style. I wouldn't mind doing the cozy lake trip. I love cozy vibes, you know? Just chilling, watching sunsets on the water. That sounds so relaxing.
I would do that for a day. And then I would do the camping trip for the rest of the time.
And then the next one. And then we'll go digging through vintage shops and catching. You know what? Let's write these down and actually take these ideas for our next vacation.
Where's the all the above option?
These are all nice.
because cafe hopping's on a Monday, and then you do the cozy lake trip on a Tuesday, and then you do camping for the rest of the week, and you come back on the weekend and you do all this other stuff.
Right.
We're going with the cafe hopping. Okay. What's your preferred mode of transportation? Car, biking, boat, skating, taxi, train, subway, walking. If we're in the city, I'm going subway.
Which city are we talking about?
Like metropolitan city, like New York City.
Okay.
Like a place that actually has legit transportation that isn't your car. If that is an option, I am going with subway.
Because I don't mind walking in the city. You know, if it's like a walkable layout. Like SF, really easy to walk to places you need to go. Minus some hills, depending where you're going. But otherwise, car or walking for me. Subway, it gets like really crowded and hot in there. It's not my go-to.
I think it depends on the destination. Like, are you really trying to walk around New York from like one borough to the next? I think you're hopping on the subway.
Probably not. You're right.
I think we're missing some additional context of where exactly am I going?
Right. Where, like, biking could be
Where
nice.
am I? Because
Taxi, absolutely not. If I
I don't
could
know where to
skate-
go from here.
If I could skate, I would skate, you know, but I can't, so.
Should we meet in the middle and say biking?
Sure.
All right. How do you like to start your day? Warm cup of coffee, eating a big hearty breakfast, listening to the ocean waves, blasting music around the house, enjoying a leisurely morning walk, catching up on news and current events, going on a sunrise run, scrolling through social media. I mean, I don't think we're going to come to an agreement if I choose coffee but that is how I start my day.
I know. I can't drink coffee, but otherwise I would. I love coffee. My thing is eating a big hearty breakfast.
I think that's where we're gonna end up going.
I'm so crabby if I don't eat breakfast.
Yeah, so wait. I just want to go back and say there's no way I'm doing a leisure morning walk. There's nothing leisurely about the morning. A sunrise run, like there's no way I have the energy to do that. I shouldn't scroll through social media in the morning to start my day.
I do, but I shouldn't.
I do catch up on the news in the morning, but I think the best route for us would be the hearty breakfast. All right. Your friends may describe you as adventurous, energetic, a homebody, the life of the party, intelligent, passionate, down to earth,
Eclectic.
Eclectic. There we go. I mean, this is really depending on who you ask.
A homebody.
I think that's where we'll meet in the middle. Okay, your dream home would be a penthouse with a city view, cozy cabin, brownstone townhouse, artsy brick-walled loft, apartment walking distance from everything, house with a huge backyard, mountain chalet? Waterfront condo.
You know, as long as it has a great kitchen, I'm down for any of these. I would say for me, maybe house with a huge backyard.
See, my only thing with that is that you have to maintain the backyard.
That's true. But if we're living in a dream world, we'll hire gardeners to do that. Okay, what about artsy brick walled loft? I like a good loft.
Because
Are you
I'm
bougie? Are
leaning...
you going penthouse with a city view?
Oh, yeah, totally. Yeah. No, I'm leaning towards cozy cabin or mountain chalet.
I can't do mountain because it snows there and I don't do well in the cold. So let's do cozy cabin, assuming it doesn't snow there.
The Ottawa Charge.
What? I don't know if I agree with that.
Okay, so I guess the podcast is the Ottawa Charge we should be rooting for. I'm
I'll do
gonna
this on
say
my own
no.
time and see what I get, and then I'll let y'all know. I did the other one that you mentioned, the Hockey Girl 360. What is it called? And I ended up getting the Seattle Torrent, so I don't mind that one. I haven't followed the charge enough to be like, oh yeah, absolutely.
In other news, the Paralympics is underway, and the U.S.
today.
They make the back-to-back gold for Team USA sled hockey. Woo! 5 golds in a row.
Woo! Good for them. They dominated this tournament. It was crazy. I'm like watching clips of it, and it's like, are the other teams even trying? What's happening? How is it possible that all 3 Olympic gold medals that Team USA has won in the hockey category has been against Canada? What is this? Where's the parity of the sport?
And Alysa Liu is continuing to be celebrated for all her amazingness. I think this was from they had a celebration in Oakland.
Yeah,
when all
so
the
on Thursday,
mascots came out.
Yeah, Thursday they ended up having a celebration day dedicated to Alysa Liu. They invite literally everyone came out for this thing. I unfortunately had to work, otherwise I would have been there because it's like down the street from where I live. But she came out, they honored her, she did a speech, there were dancers there. The mayor gave her the key to the city. There were, Violet from the Valkyries, Sharkie, Frenzy from the Barracuda, and then Scrappy from the Oakland Ballers was there for the mascots to celebrate. They took a picture with her. It seemed like a really good time. There were artists like Pilo and Kaylani came out. I can't remember who else I've seen, but everyone made a whole day of it. It looked like a good time, and Oakland always likes to find a way to celebrate and uplift people that come out of this community. So it was cool. Good for her.
And then if you can't see from this photo, I think there's probably other photos and video, but Sharkie is wearing a Alyssa styled wig.
Yes.
So Sharkie is doing a bit of drag.
Yeah.
And then in other Bay news, the Golden State Storm. It's 14 days until the Golden State Storm take the field on game 1.
Yeah. So excited because we've never had a women's football team out here before. I don't know if it's a fairly new league or not. I actually don't remember, but this is a new team coming in this season. They will be playing here in Oakland at Laney College. Again, it's like 10 minutes from where I live, so I'm like in the middle of everything. I love this place. But, last weekend they were doing their media day, so they're putting out videos and photos of the players and stuff just to get fans pumped. But it's exciting, it looks like a good time. They're really uplifting these women, and it's cool too because the way they ended up choosing the teams was they had tryouts. It wasn't like a draft or anything. People tried out to be on this team, so it's pretty cool.
Awesome. And then the Bay FC had their home opener on Saturday the 14th. And I was there, as I do. And they won 2-1 over the Denver Summit, which is a new team coming into the league. And Bay FC had a big change in the off season, brand new coach. There were a number of different signings. A number of players were let go. Unfortunately, Kiki Pickett now plays for San Diego, so that hurts my heart. But I mean, the team just, granted, Denver Summit, brand new team. They're still trying to figure themselves out, right? The chemistry and stuff. The AFC went through that a couple of seasons ago. So I don't really know a whole bunch about the Denver Summit and where they're going to be for this season, but they looked good out there. At one point, they had 2 more opportunities late in the game that could have easily made it 4-1 for the final score, but the 2 goals that were scored in the first half, if my memory serves me correctly, they were very commanding goals, and the team just looks like they're way more the chemistry is a bit more tight-knit, and they were just having fun out there. And just doing a pan of the audience, it looked like it was maybe roughly 80% filled. And so, yeah, season 3 of Bay FC, and I'm really excited for this season just because they made a whole number of changes after last season. They didn't make the playoffs after the first season that they did sneak in there. But it just looks like the team is coming in with some new energy and are excited. Yeah. And then they also have a new goal song that got introduced. And I think that's also fun for that additional Bay Area vibes.
Yeah, so I was actually able to catch a bit of this game, thankfully, because I was at my parents' yesterday. They have TV and I don't. So I was able to watch a good chunk of the first half before switching to the Sharks game, and then back. I was going back and forth. but they did, from the last time I was able to see them, because I don't think I was able to catch a game at all last season. So from the first season, they've made a big improvement. And I think that, like, credit to the coach that they brought in. I believe she is from Europe.
The UK. Yep.
Yeah. And so, like, you know, they think the game a lot differently than people out here. So really excited to see where she takes the team, because they look great out there. You know, I remember the first few games I watched, I was like very frustrated because their defense was just letting the other team go right by them. But they seemed a lot more unified in this game. They were making really good passes. I did watch those 2 other opportunities in the second half that you had mentioned, where I was like, dude, if only you had like cut at the right moment just to get around the goalie, like you would have made another goal. But they look like they're having fun out there. And yeah, excited to see it for the season. Talking about the goal song, it is La Russell's I'm From the Bay, which, if you guys aren't familiar with him or his music, he has been promoting this song for a while, for months, where he has been going to, I don't know if his goal is to go to every single high school in the Bay, but he has done a good chunk of high schools in the Bay. He's doing multiple music videos at each one of these, with having the students involved. And like, a friend of mine was showing me some of these videos, and he actually went to my old high school, which is crazy, all the way up in Hercules. They had he had the cheerleaders involved and some dancers, and yeah, it was really interesting to see my high school featured like that, because it's so small, you know. But yeah, you know, like, I think he might also be from Oakland or something. Either way, he's very proud to be from the Bay. Maybe he's from Vallejo, but
I think he's from Vallejo.
that makes more sense. Everyone's always so like, oh yeah, I'm from the Bay, and now he made a song about it. So the pride is it makes sense to have it for Bay FC.
Yeah, they showed the entirety of the specific music video that he made for Bay FC with the song prior to kickoff. So they had everybody, you know, oh, get up, you know, get hyped and whatever, and they played the song on the video, whatever you call it. And I think it's really fun if they do it for every game. I don't know yet, but if they do, it'd be really fun because of that part in his song when he does the roll call and he shouts out like the different parts of the Bay. Kind of reminded me, you know, of like the Valkyrie, how their in arena hosts will do that during later in the game. They'll do the whole light show thing, and then they'll have people, you know, get up and cheer whenever their city gets called. So I think it was just really nice. And then also really great that, you know, he's a local you know, Bay Area artist. So for him to get featured, you know, everyone's just trying to lift each other up and yeah, just pride for the Bay. So yeah, so they showed that prior to kickoff, and then when they got a goal, they would have an abbreviated version of that, playing the chorus of you know, I'm from the Bay, I'm from the Bay. So I thought that was really fun.
Yeah, I think what I've been noticing these past few years, because we keep getting all these new teams, or like the teams are doing really well, sports teams, I should say, are doing really well, is that it feels like there's a more sense of like pride within the Bay Area, or like a sense of like community coming together and supporting each other, which hasn't felt like, I don't know if it's because I hadn't paid attention before because I was younger or whatever, but it feels I don't know, like wholesome, you know. Like there's just more like I said, community. It just feels very unified, and who knew sports could bring people together. Just kidding.
Imagine that. Yeah, so it's going to be kind of crazy. I have all of the sports that I follow on my calendar, and so like next week on Saturday is another Bay FC game, and I was like, all right, well, what does that day look like? So my day is pretty much going to start out with the 1 p.m. game of the Sharks go against the Flyers. And after that concludes, then I'm going to have a bit of a breather before I go out to the Bay FC game that starts at 5:45. So, and then the following day, the Montreal Victoire will take on the Ottawa Charge. So, you know, sports problems.
Who are you rooting for that game? Because apparently you're a Charge fan now.
I guess I'm rooting against us. Yeah, so that's about it for us this week. As mentioned, we are going to have a giveaway, as we talked about a little earlier, with the Barbie game day for the Sharks happening on that Saturday that I'm going to have so much time on my hands. So we're going to do that. So be sure to follow us on our socials, Twitter, Blue Sky, and Instagram. That's where we're going to announce that. Maybe the next time that we're recording, we're probably going to be a little more concerned of where the Sharks are in the standings, as the playoffs, people, you know, the teams are going to be starting to fight for those positions. And also the PWHL is also going to be fighting for their positions for the playoffs. So a lot of exciting things coming up for hockey. And then with all this other great sports that we covered, I'm sure we'll have an update on all that. Other than that, be sure to like, subscribe, leave us a review wherever you listen to us on your podcast platforms. Tell your friends about it. We always love hearing from everybody. Go ahead and leave us a comment if you feel so inclined to do so. And as always, I am your host, Jay.
And I'm Ness. Thanks for joining us, guys.
See you next time.
Bye.